After killing his father, he becomes a deadly criminal who no one can stand in front of. Our movie starts with an officer named Sasri who gets a phone call from a head of intelligence because he wants him necessary. So Sasri goes to the airport and writes the first plane you meet. Then Sasri arrives to the intelligence building and the leader tells that he wants him in a serious topic, and he said that he used to work in a village called Tigers before that. Then Sasri remembers a few things. Later, Rajpur asks him about the dangerous criminal named Tiger, so he talks about all that he knew from the time he was there, and he tells that literally he is a dangerous criminal and no one could stand in front of him, even the police with their weapons. The police leader asks him that he will be more dangerous than any criminal we have ever arrested and tell him about some one of them. So Sasri said that he arrested them because he was able to reveal their plans, but Tiger is different from them all because he used to talk about the plan and what he was going to do. Despite this, no one was able to catch him, but Sasri tells that their shock will be not like this shock because everything he said is just hearing from the people. In fact, he never met him, especially when Tiger phoned Sasri and told him that he was going to steal a Sarkar train, and this train has a car loaded with 20 tons of wheat, and the only solution to be able to steal all this load is when the train will be on the bridge. But the train takes time on the bridge for 5 minutes only, and its speed is high. So Sasri is surprised, and he is sure that he will never succeed in this plan. But he takes a lot of power, and they go wait for the train and secure it. Then Tiger and his men come to steal the train, and they wait for the right moment. And when it reaches, they throw ropes and hang them on it. But one of them, while trying to get out, falls in the sea. But Tiger was very well prepared. Many people were with him in boats under the sea, so they rescued him. Then Tiger and the rest, they go to the car that has wheat in it, and as soon as they open the door, they find guards on it, and a very big war goes on between them. But Tiger beats them all and let his men put the wheat on the boats, and they finish all this in just 5 minutes. But the problem is that the police wait for them on the righteousness, so they all jump from the train at the last minute, but they can't untie the ropes. So Tiger cuts the ropes. As soon as he came down, he was carrying a wheat bag, so people grab him and pull him inside, and the train passes on the pavement. So the police stop the train and they enter to look for it, but Tiger goes undercover among the people on the train without anyone knowing him. We return to the present and Sasri continues speaking, and everyone is shocked until someone enters and tells the head of intelligence that they have gathered all the information about Tiger. Then he's surprised that the first crime he committed was when he was 10 years old, and Sasri tells him that he killed his father and starts to tell. He said that there was only one person who controlled the village and everything was done through him, and we find him tied up someone because he stole something from the area without his permission, and he asks his men to turtle him so that he gets his punishment. After that, Tiger and his father enter, but Tiger doesn't like all this injustice and wanted to beat him, but his father is keeping him away. Then Tiger's father asks him for permission to go steal something from outside the village, so the leader agrees and tells him about the percentage, but Tiger's father asks him to increase it. At night, Tiger and his father go to rob this place, and everything is fine until they try to escape from the place. Unfortunately, the guards catch Tiger's father by his legs. He asks his son to take the money and go to the leader to give it to him and take the percentage, but Tiger refuses, and he thinks that the leader is unjust and controls everything and it's not his right, and he said that his money is their right and he will not give it to him. But his father gets annoyed and bothers him. Suddenly, Tiger will get a knife out and cut his father's head. Then he takes it together. We go back again and the head of the intelligence is shocked, and he wonders how his father did all this to him while he killed him in the end. Then Sasri talks again, and he said that After Tiger killed his father, the next day he meets Vigala, who was testing the intelligence of his disciples, and he's training them hard exercises, and he puts money in the box and asks them that whoever takes this money is smart. One of them wanted to try and put his hand and found something suspicious, and he discovered that they are insects. So he laughed at him because he thought the topic would pass this easily, and no one could easily get out this money. And then Tiger entered to him and put a lot of water in the can. At the time, the money floated in the face of the water, so he took it. So Vigala liked him and asks him to train with him, and he starts to teach Tiger everything, and Tiger was one of his best students. After the days pass, we find a Mandala, who is a big gang leader, and no one can steal in the village without his permission. And one day he was auctioning the places that he wants to be stolen, and all those around him are thieves and gang leaders, but they can't skip it. So Mandala asked his brother Cassie to open the auction, and he asked all who wants to steal the train, and the auction started with all of them, and each one puts a number until one of them won, and they write the contract for him and say about its terms, which include that no one is allowed to come close to the train except him. Then Tiger talks to his friend and tells him that he wants to be like them and has a place among them, but he says to him that it's impossible to achieve this because he needs a big gang first, and then he thinks about entering with them. And before he finishes his talk, someone enters, and it seems that he is a big official or a rich one, and asks them to help him smuggle his goods from the port, but Mandala refuses. So the man tells that he will give a 10% for anyone who will know how to get it out, but no one replies to him. Suddenly, Tiger said that he agrees to transport the goods, but on condition, which is that he takes 50% of the goods. So everyone laughs at him because he doesn't have a gang, and also it's the first time he has a big operation like this. But Cassie gets mad at Tiger, and he said to him how to set a percentage for himself, and it's not his right. But the man said to him he has nothing to do with him, and he will give him what he wants. And Mandela is surprised that he is the only one who replied to the man, and also he doesn't know who he will deal with. So Tiger enters with them a bet that he will move it and bring it to the place that the man will talk about. Cassie agrees with that, he says, but they are mocking him and they think that he will not be able to do anything. But Tiger tells Cassie that you said your terms, but I still haven't said my conditions, and tells that if he succeeds in this operation he will have possession among them. At night, the port burns and no one catches up with his gods. The next day, the man who owned the gods goes to Amanda, and all of them are gloating over him, and they think that Tiger wouldn't have been able to do anything. And suddenly Tiger appears, and he could smuggle the gods, and he is the one who burned the port. The night before, we find him enter the fire truck in the fire, and he did all this so no one would doubt him, and he could smuggle all the gold in the fire truck. Everyone salutes him for what he has done, but Tiger asks Cassie to get him a chair, and when they get the chair, he doesn't sit on it and put his foot and light his cigarette as if he is challenging them all. After that, Tiger started to expand in his work and execute any task without any suspicion. One day, he saw a girl he liked and he wanted to ask her from president. So she asked him to pay 300 rupees, but the girl was stubborn, but he told her that he will take her with wellness. So she wants to hit him. At the time, he holds her hand and hits her so he faints. So all the women attack him, but anyone that comes too close to him, he hits her. But an officer saw him. At the time, he attacked him to beat him, but Tiger hits him too. At night, Tiger meets his friends, and they talk about a very big gold theft, and he surprises them that gold are 300 kilos, and tells that they will need a lot of weapons. Next day, they get the weapon from someone on the train, but Tiger sees a beautiful girl in front of him, which her name is Sarah. Tiger likes her and goes after her, but she doesn't accept to stop. At the time, he stands in front of her and tells her that she is the most beautiful girl he saw in his life, and he tells her that they will get married immediately. So Sarah thinks he's crazy. A week passes and we find some guys who have just graduated, and they tell the employee that they want to permit to build a tobacco factory. So the employee makes fun of them and asks them where will they get all the money from, but in the end he agrees. The second day, Tigers go to the school and he distributes money to the students to make them leave education and steal with him. But suddenly, Sarah appears in front of him, and the first time he sees her, he forgets everything around him. Then, the guy that we saw a while ago reach, and they come to tell Tiger that they presented the factory papers, but he doesn't focus with them at all. And when they ask who he's looking at, his friend tells that he's looking at Sarah, and that last week she was going to get married, but her wedding was ruined, and Tiger is the one who ruined her wedding, because he stole the money of the groom's dowry. Then Tiger gives her the money he stole and tells her that he is the reason of break the marriage because he loves her. She hates him, but he tells her that he could have hidden the subject but he didn't, and he wants to start with her honestly. Then she was surprised by his action, and it's clear that she liked him. The second day, Sarah is with her family, and her father works with Cassie, and when he brings money to Cassie, he finds it missing. So he tells that he was ambushed, and at the time he paid the bribe and he will pay them back. But Cassie didn't accept, and he pulled his daughter Sarah from in front of them, and he will rent her until he returns the money to him. But Tiger asks him to leave Sarah because he will marry her. But Cassie threatens him, and someone tells him to leave because if Mandela knew he would get him out of the area. But Tiger challenges them and tells them that he will take this area for his own, and tells them to leave Sarah, and they don't listen to him and pull out their knives. So Tiger pulls out two guns and threatens them with them. So they are afraid and they leave Sarah, and Sarah, she's happy because she found someone to protect her from this gang. After that, Tiger plans the robbery, but he finds Sarah enters, and she tells that she talked to her but she refuses, and she tells Tiger that they have no solutions but to run away and get married. Then someone calls him to go on the operation, and when Sarah knows he's going to steal, she asks him to stop that because she will sacrifice everything for him. So he promises that it will be the last operation and he will go to her on time. At night, Tiger goes to the ship that has the gold on it, and they implemented their plan. But unfortunately, after they took the gold, one of them was arrested. So Tiger stacks the gold and then comes back again to free it, and a fierce war is going on between him and the guards, but no one can stand him while he is killing most of them. Later, Mandela knows what happened, and he gets a call from the owner of the gold to yell at him because he didn't protect the gold. So he said that he will have gold today. Then Tiger is with his men and asks them to hide the gold, and he will go to Sarah to catch her. Later, Tiger arrives at the station, but he is late, and he finds Sarah waits for him, and he is afraid that she got mad at him, and she asks him about the marriage contract, but he forgot it. So she tells him that she brought it with her, and when they are traveling by train, suddenly the police fill the place. Even Cassie and his men are arriving to kill him, but he is alone, so he can't do anything with them, and Sarah knows that he stole the gold and hits him and yells at him, and she tells him that she sacrificed everything for him and threw herself in front of the train. At present, Sastry tells them that Tiger was imprisoned at the time, and they kept urging him a lot to know the place of the gold, but didn't want to tell them anything. So the leader thought that this matter ended while he was in prison, but Sastry tells him has not started yet. Then we go back while Tiger in the prison, when they used to bring him food and he didn't come close to it. So the leader told him he must eat because he can't get out of here. But Tiger proves to him that he was wrong and he can escape from prison. Everyone wonders how he escaped amidst all this security, and they discovered that he ran quickly and jumped over the wall. Then Sastry completes his story, and he tells them that after Tiger got out of prison, he went to Cassie and killed him. So the leader tells him that they have a disaster. At the time, the tiger sent them a message that he will enter a prime minister's house. Later, the leader goes to the ministry, but he finds everything fine. So he makes fun of the sasri because he said something that he didn't happen. Suddenly, they find someone who wants to enter coffee to the prime minister. So Rajbat gets surprised because she just got out a while ago, and he runs quickly office and finds her there. So he's worried because he saw the prime minister coming out in front of his eyes, and he runs to the car and discovers that she is also the prime minister. So he's shocked, and he keeps thinking who was in the ministry and knows that he is Tiger, and so he makes an emergency meeting. When they go back to the ministry, Sastry looks for his assistant but can't find him, and he thinks that Tiger was one who protected him all the time, but he didn't know because he doesn't know him. Later, the prime minister knows about what happened, and she yells at Rajbat because they couldn't even secure her, and Tiger entered the ministry normally. So he asks her for a week until he is arrested, but the prime minister thinks that he didn't come to kill her or come to steal, but he came to deliver a message to her and give him a message that he left her in the office. So Rajbat reads the letter and finds him mocking the guards and the army of the minister. Rajbat gets angry from his message and thinks of something to do to arrest him, and after that he changes his look and goes into Tiger's village, and he meets Tiger's coach Vigala, and he tricks him and tells that he needs to eat. So Vigala believes him, and he tells him that when the money fell from him, people told him about someone named Tiger. So he asked about him and knew that he is a dangerous criminal. So Vigala looks tricked, and he talks about him. And here we return when Tiger was 10 years old. Then there was a child arrested with him, and he knew that he came to act that he committed a crime is one place to take money from him. So Tiger asked him to change his words, but the child didn't listen to him. And when they went to the police station, the officer tried to make the child confess about himself until the child gave up and told him that he was not the guilty, and told him about who did the crime and who becomes the assistant of the sheriff. So the sheriff shouts at his assistant and says he's loser. So he gets angry and shouts and hates the child, and when he kills him, he takes him to his village. So his mother runs to him to follow her son, but the officer tells everyone that he works with Mandala, and who will not listen to him will do to him like this child. And he asked his men to gather all the children in the village. Then Tiger arrives and sees the child while he's beaten, and he remembers his talk to him, so he is affected, and he beats the police. In the end, he catches the officer and beats him, and he tells the people of the village that they are responsible for him, and then he takes the children to the school to learn and takes care of all their expenses, and every day he was checking on the people. That's why he steals, to feed them and teach them. We know at the time that Tiger's goal was good. Then we go back to the present, and Vigala is still talking, and Rajbat asked if Tiger was a good person. He said that without him they wouldn't have been able to live, and even the food in front of him now is what he brought. So he's surprised that he is such kind person but killed many people. So Vigala tells him what happened, and we find Tiger takes care of all children until they graduated, and one day he knew that one of them stole. So Tiger gathered them all and assures them that as he told them, he will make them work. So one of them is offering to open a factory, but the problem is that the money is a lot. That's why he decided to steal the 300 kilos of gold, because he wanted to build a factory for them. But then Kelsey ruined his life, and he was ready to sacrifice his whole life in prison just to build the factory. But Mandala went to prison and threatened him with what he had done. And in one day, his friend visited Tiger. So he asked him, did they start to build the factory or not? But he tells that Mandala kidnapped a couple of guys, and he asked them to tell him where the gold. But they kept silent until he brought them their friend and decided to kill her. So they gave up and decided to tell him to save her. But she decided to sacrifice his life to save their dream. But Cassie ran after her before she jumped from above and choked her with a chain. And then one of the guys ate drugs to admit the place of gold. Then Cassie killed them. Then Tiger decided to escape from prison. Later, the news reaches Mandala, but Cassie is not afraid of him. Suddenly, Tiger arrives at the place and kills anyone who stands in his way, and he cuts Cassie's neck. Then he attacks Mandala, but he doesn't die, and Tiger tells that he will leave him alive until he sees the factory built. Then he will kill him. After that, everyone waits for the factory building, and a girl sees Tiger and likes him, so she tries to get his attention in any way, but he doesn't take care of her. Then Mandala comes out of the hospital and gets his men out of the prison and gather the people of the village to take them in their place, but Tiger blows up the place and threatens Mandala to get close to people again. Later, one of his men telling him that there is only one officer who will be able to stand off Tiger, and we find officer who Tiger hit him before and maimed his face, but the truth that happened is that the officer was one who hit the girl when she refused to go with him, and then Tiger saw him, he beat him. So all these charges were fabricated for Tiger, and Sastry didn't know anything but what's written in the papers. At night, Tiger goes to girl's father and asks him to find her a groom, so she gets angry at him and jealousy shows on her, and he understands that she wants to marry him, and she tells him everything he does for the poor people. In the end, he agrees and they make a big wedding. And when Vigala was talking, people come to him and tell him that the officer knew Tiger's wife place, so they try to hide her. But she was about to give birth, but the officer arrives and he makes Manny suffer in front of everyone. At the time, a girl enters to defend her, so their village is encouraged, so the officer feels scared and leaves them and walks away. Rajbat sees all that is happening and he asks Vigala about his girl, so he tells him that her name is Himalata and she came to the village to change their lives for the better. Later, Himalata takes Manny and gives birth to her, and she gives birth to 2 children. After that, Himalata will go to Tiger in forest because he was running away from the police and asks him to stop stealing because the villagers are taking him as an example, and she tells him that she will help him build this factory, but in formal ways. Later, she takes to the government and indeed the building starts, but the people think that she is helping them, and so when the police arrest Tiger, they don't help him, and they say that it caused them problems, but Tiger was the one who did all that but secretly, and when he was escaping from the police at night, they couldn't catch him, so they connected the electricity, and in the day they couldn't run in the stand, so they decided to fix the road. When Himalata knows what happened, she asks why he put her in the face while he is one who does everything, and Vigala said that because the government wouldn't agree that they built the factory with stolen money, and it was the only solution, and even the money that was delivering, he was the one who used to send it. To everyone is shocked, and they feel that they were unjust to Tiger. So Rajbat returns to the minister and tells her everything while Tiger was running away from the police, but the officer shoots a lot at him, despite that Tiger doesn't sign and keeps going and catches him in the factory. So a girl runs to village to let them know that Tiger is tied up. Then Mandala appears and he is the reason of this, and Tiger knows that he met his prime minister and she decided to cancel the factory project, and this way he will not kill him because he promised. Then he gets called from the ministry and he knows that he was dismissed from his position, and also the Tiger factory was approved, so he goes to Tiger to kill him, but Tiger tells him that he promised to kill him one day the approval is issued, and now the time has come, so the officer tries to kill him, but Tiger breaks the chair he's tied to and he starts killing them, and he holds a mandala to suffocate him and die next to him. When the officer approaches him, he is surprised that he is still alive, so Tiger gets up and kills him too. The people of the village arrive and find him injured, so his wife runs to him, but Tiger is dead, and he remembers when he killed his father, so we know that he killed him because he asked him to do that because he couldn't escape. And that's our movie ends today. You love action, suspense, and mystery, we have it. Also existed in the comment menu. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And that's it. Bye bye.